Hi, everybody. Tonight I want to talk a little bit more about me, about my journey, uh, how things change. So, back in 2004, I moved from the Dominican Republic, where I had all my direct family, where I grew up, where I have my dad, and I have my mom, and I have my sisters that I love dearly, my cousins and aunt. I did have family here, but of course we were not as close as the one back home. But I embarked a journey. As usual, I'm not afraid to jump into a new challenge, and my challenge was to get to this country and learn the language and get my education and get a career. My career, I back then I was interested in finances. I was into administration and all that. So after I got here, I got pregnant. Got pregnant with my first child. I love her dearly, and the paperwork I when I initially came here, I was married to a USA citizen. He was a USA citizen, and I had a visa. So, of course, we submit the paperwork for me to get my green card, and I got my green card. But I was already I have my working permit first, but I got my work permit, but I was pregnant, so I couldn't go out and work. So, for the longest time, being in a different country, I didn't know the language as well. I knew basics, but I didn't know a lot. And being in a different country, I was away from my family because even if I had family, they were in the city, and I am in upstate New York in Albany, so that is about 3 hours and a half, and I wasn't that close with that family, so I was here alone while my ex and his family will work and help me out. But the problem was that I am not the type of person that can spend all day at home doing nothing, right? So, yes, they were the task from the house, but they wouldn't let me. Um, my kid's grandma is the best woman that you will ever know. She was really worried about me and in the pregnancy, and she was awesome. So it was his sister. So they are family to me, regardless of my um the fact that I'm not longer with that person, but his family is my family, and many of the things they didn't want me to do it because it involved chemicals, and that wasn't good for the pregnancy. So I spent all my day and I started growing depressed. I was at home, I was away from my family, I was pregnant. I didn't look pregnant, by the way. When I became pregnant, I was about 114 pounds. I was extremely skinny. All my pre kids life. Um, Post kids, I've been struggling with the opposite, which is the weight. So I I had her. I stayed home for 5 months, and after 5 months, I say I can't. I cannot be in the house. I'm depressed, and I cannot be the best mom that I can be if I'm depressed. So I went ahead and I saw a sign in a McDonald's, and I said I'm gonna work there. My ex wasn't happy about the fact that the baby was little. She was 5 months, and I wanted to go and work. I wasn't gonna make much because it was a McDonald's. I think back then it was like $7.25. So, but I did it anyways because I have always been strong will. Always have strong will. I'm gonna call it nicely. So now I asked him to take me. He said no, and I said okay, I'm gonna go. I know how to take the bus. So he said okay, I'm gonna take you because he knew that if I couldn't get in the bus, I was gonna walk there. It wouldn't be the first time that I did it, anyways. So back home, there was protests from the public transportation, and I walked to school because I was going to go to school. So I am determined. I am a very determined person. I have always been. So he took me there, and I went in there. I met with the manager. He said, my ex said, I'm not gonna translate for you. So he didn't go in. I went by myself. And when I went in, I talked to the manager, and I said, I don't speak English, so you need but I want to work here. Can I work in the grill? He thought that I spoke enough English to work in McDonald's, so I was a cashier at a McDonald's, not knowing enough English, uh, for about 3 or 4 months. It was great because I had a coworker. She was Puerto Rican. She helped me. She helped me tremendously when I couldn't say it, or when people couldn't understand me. Because I still have people that say that they cannot understand me uh, because of my deep accent. She will step in and help me. From there, I went to work to SUNY, to the New York State University, but not directly for SUNY, but for a contractor that did back then. It was a different company that they have now. They did the cafeteria work. There, I worked for a number of years. I left and I came back. I always had a good work ethics. My work ethics, I learned them from my father. There was and he had cancer, and he was in pain, and we had to go a month before he died. We had to go and get him out of his work because he needed to do a report. He was an accountant, and he needed to do a report that only him knew how to do it, and therefore he needed to be there. So his employer called us, asking us to get him, that they were going to figure that out, because they can tell, like, he will pretend when he saw people that he wasn't in pain, but they can see that he was struggling, because as soon as that person went away and they check, he was in tremendous pain. So I learned that from him. And so I work in several places, and everywhere that I work, my employers always usually want to hire me back because of the good work, and I give my 100, more than 100% if possible, to the work that I do. So uh, a lot of things happened during that time, with the kids, with me trying to build a career here, build a family. It was really difficult. When I was 25 years old, I remember I went to a doctor here in Albany, around where currently live, and I said to the doctor, I saw on the TV about fibromyalgia, and how you cannot explain the pain, but you feel the pain. And he was talking about Cymbalta, actually, the medication. And I went to the doctor, and I say, I sometimes I get pain, and I don't know what it is. The doctor just said, you're a healthy woman. I was 25. You're young. I don't see anything wrong with you. And she gave me medication. When I read the medication, it was anxiety medication. She didn't get me evaluated. She was just my regular physician. She wasn't a psychiatrist. And shortly later, I started working with. I stopped the medication while after. I stopped going to that doctor. I didn't trust her anymore because she completely disregarded me. And I was feeling the pain. The pain was real. And it was so frustrating that she disregarded my pain, being my doctor, that I couldn't go back there. So after that, I started working with a psychologist. I didn't had a good experience with that psychologist. I don't take threats very well. If part of your job is to do something, you should do it. You should not threat the person to try to change a behavior that way. Um, so I left that practice, and I also separated from my ex for the first time. It was really difficult for me, having two little kids. My older one started struggling with school. She struggled before, but she didn't, but she will take the help. From that moment on, she wouldn't take my help. I grew angry. I was very angry. I was very frustrated, and I think that was affecting her as well. After a period of time, we reconciled, so I was back with her dad, and but it didn't work. It didn't work. Uh, the way that I was treated, I disagree with him. That is not the way that I feel that I deserve to be treated. So I divorced him. One day, when I asked for the divorce, one day he was upset with me. The girls went to their grandma's house, and he said that he was gonna burn the house with me inside. Um, I started showing. I was already with a third psychologist. My second psychologist was awesome, but she couldn't. She didn't. She worked at nighttime with her clients because she had a full time job because she switched. So I had to get another psychologist because part of my job initially in my first year required me to work a lot at nighttime, and that's gonna be left for another video because that part is there is a lot of struggle there. I have done so many different jobs in this country, and I'm really proud of where I am right now. So going back, he one day said he started kind of like scaring me, and I pretended I wasn't scared. I said I'm not scared. I'm not scared anymore. I got to the point that I decided that that wasn't the life that I wanted to live. I didn't want to live like that. The relationship wasn't working. I believe we both fail because in a relationship there are two, not one. So we both fail, and I decided that wasn't the relationship that I want to be in. That couldn't be fixed, and to live like that, I would have take death. That was to the extreme that I was. So I started losing energy. It was hard for me to get up. On the weekends, I'll spend the weekend in bed because I couldn't. I physically couldn't. Pain. I didn't have energy. I was feeling depressed. I had days the if I felt attacked, I would attack back. Um, then he did it. I said if he does it again, if he threatens me again, I am calling the police. He put the gas, and then he said, "Oh, I thought you were not scared," because he put the brakes. He didn't touch me, but I was afraid. I seriously saw his face and thought he was going to run me over. I heard that he never had the intention to run me over. He was joking or something like that. To me, it felt serious, especially since he cut me off in the highway and put the brakes one time, and since he also put the gas. I was walking down my road to get my girls because they were playing with their friends, and he put the gas on and passed me extremely close, and he scared me. He scared me a lot. At the moment, I was in survival mode. I couldn't. I just needed to survive. I don't know how I was able to do a lot of things that I did. Like, I did an amazing job, I think, with my work, because I was able to resolve a lot of situations, and mentally, I was bad. So after all that, my kid was affected again. She saw too much. I tried to avoid for her to see all that, but she saw way too much. So she became angry. She went through a lot also in school with some kids, and she needed help. I needed to get her help. So I I signed her up for a program. After she pulled some scissors on me. Well, she locked herself in the bathroom with some scissors, and I knew it was time for her to get a lot more help, and I needed to force her. So I signed her up for an outpatient program where they help her a lot. Um, and when I saw how they were helping her, I signed up for the program, for the adult program. There I learned a lot of tools that have helped me. That's what I've been sharing. Of course, I continue working with my therapist. My therapist was the one that suggested for me to join the program and for me to take her to the program. And she's doing amazing. She is the kid that I always knew she was. She's good now. She's not longer in that school. She has really good friends that care for her, and you can see the difference. You can see the difference in her. You can see how she's doing a lot better. So that makes me happy. So, but while I was taking care of her, I realized that I needed to take care of me because I needed to lead by example. She needed to see me as an example. And in order for me to do that, I needed to take care of me. And I started pushing and pushing and pushing. Sometimes I fell back, and I got up again, and every now and then I fall down and I get up again. So if I did it, if I am where I am right now, and I am 1,000 times better than I was before, you can do it. So don't give up. Utilize your tools. I'm gonna keep sharing tools. I'm gonna keep sharing videos, because if I can help anybody out there, that will be amazing. Like, I wish I knew all that I know now when it comes to the tools to deal with these, with the PTSD, with the fibromyalgia. By the way, the fibromyalgia wasn't the PTSD and the depression. They diagnosed me with all that in 2018 in September, no, October. And the fibromyalgia was in 2019 because I was so tired. I can barely stand up, and because finally I got out of survival mode. I am not longer afraid of my ex. I don't think he's coming to get me. I don't think he ever was. I think he just made a really bad decisions, but that doesn't say that I'm going back to that relationship, because that ended. Now, I went for a test on sleep apnea and narcolepsy, and they found out that I woke up that night. I woke up 129 times in 7 hours, and that's when they say that they highly believe that I have fibromyalgia, and that's why I'm waking up, because I also keep complaining about the pain that I've been complaining for 10 years. I call a neurologist. No, I see a neurologist. I call a rheumatologist, and they wouldn't receive me because they received the results from the sleep study, and they say that they highly believe that I have fibromyalgia. So I contacted my doctor, the one that I have now. She's awesome. She really listens to me, and she has seen the difference. By the way, I went to see her this year, and she told me that she has never seen me the way that I am, with so much energy, feeling the way that I feel right now, that she can tell from my attitude how much better I am. So when I went and saw her after the study, she sent me to I was already on medications. And I was on Lexapro, and she sent me to talk to my psychiatrist. I talked to my psychiatrist and they switched my meds. My pain is a lot better. I barely get pain. Well, I do get pain every now and then, but I have been managing with trying to exercise, switching around. I'm doing Noom for the weight loss, and I've been doing self care. I've been eating healthy. I've been eating organic. I've been taking my supplements, and I've been switching also my tools on the mindfulness. I try not to have always the same thing, but I always try to add some form of meditation through my day. Remember, there are many ways that you can be meditating. You don't have to be sitting in the crossing your legs in that position. No, you can be meditating even when you're driving, but don't close your eyes. Okay. uh, Safety first. I'm big on safety, but just by being in the moment, paying attention to the road, paying attention to the cars behind you, paying attention to everything and noticing everything around you, you're meditating. So don't stop taking care of yourself. It is possible. We gotta keep fighting. This is a fight for the rest of our lives, but we can do it. We can do it and we can feel better. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.